Good evening. This is Ken Long from Tortoise Capital with a daily coaching video from the chat rooms. Today we're going to take a look at some trades from our swing trading mastermind and from the intraday trading mastermind as well, and just take a look at some trading lessons here. The first one is Sonal, looking at the Dow. And what she's done here is a 1-2-3 failure short. So there's this nice bounce here, and it's getting to the edge of the river, and it's a lower high. And she plays a 1-2-3 short with a pretty tight stop. This long bar reversed, and she felt like she was nervous and got out and cashed a fractional win. The trade continued to unfold to the downside here, and it was almost looks like two frog boxes of moves. She was not able to re-enter here, and so we're working on the issues about re-entering. And one of the things that we're examining is how to feel professional about getting back into something where you feel like you got out too soon and you feel like you're chasing it and you're concerned. Do I want to get in because of emotions, or am I following the rules? And so we're working on framing these trades ahead of time to identify maximum reasonable moves, which then computes to a maximum price we can buy or sell at and still retain our 2-to-1, so that we know if there's still time to get aboard the train, even though it may have left the first station. Perhaps there's more room for us to get on the second station and still achieve our 2-to-1. My coaching points on this one are to simply to look at, although I have no problem with that exit, cashing a fractional win. It's always good to get paid. In the moment of the trade frame, when we're entering here at the red dot, we can look back and see that the swing low of the dragon southern skin, which is this red shaded 10-period Bollinger Band plus or minus a half. If we draw this level across, then this blue dot represents a place at which we can legitimately get short again or re-enter on the collapse of the real support at the edge of the dragon, or at the swing low down here, vicinity Z-2 on this first excursion down. I want you to notice that the length of this excursion from here to the swing low is the same as the excursion from here to this swing low. So the market is symmetrical in that sense, or fractal. And so at either one of these red lines, there are still opportunities to get in, not later than getting short at those, because our expectation is that if those support levels crack, then there's a possibility for a runaway move, much as we saw here. Sonal's observation of the legitimate place to re-enter or to cover here is excellent. And so let's get in the habit of framing those trades ahead of time and identifying key support and resistance levels, so we can decide if we want to front run in here, or at least be postured to add a second position or to re-enter if we get shaken out. Still, good trade, good frame, excellent opportunities, swing high, lower high, third lower high, and she gets in at a beautiful moment, and we'll just tighten up on the trade framing. Later that morning, right after the open, this is Patrick looking at XIV on 1-minute charts. He plays his J trade, which is a Z3 excursion, gets a 1-2-3 entry just as it's entering the dragon. Awesome entry with a tight stop, and then cashes at the first sign of hesitation up here where it rejoins yesterday's close. That's a natural place. That's the tactical move that was available, and so he's looking at making let's see, from 28.75, that's about 40 cents in a matter of about 8 minutes. On a 30 or 40 cent risk, there's a nice way to get paid. I had the same trade that morning. Well, this is me trading on the 3-minute charts. This is the open at the blue line. I like the 1-2-3 entry here, and I'm in at 29 even. I placed my stop just below this VWAP here, or the second PSAR dot, and so we're in at 29. It moves in our favor, gets a pullback, holds at the edge of the dragon. You'll notice that the 10-period regression line never even flinches. I like this one for a second entry at 29.20 because what I'm looking at is a return to yesterday's VWAP or the 270 regression line, and I feel like I want to be postured for this move. So I don't have 2R in hand, but I do have momentum. I've had the first flinch and go. And so I'm willing to front run this, but I've got a tight trigger on the exit. So these are the targets that I was looking at. The return to the VWAP, the top of the dragon on the last swing high, and then the moving RL 270. But what we get is after my entry, about 10 minutes later, the RL 10 rolls over. I take the exit as price and the 10 are re-entering the dragon. So this is about a scratch on that second position, and this is a fractional win. And the main point is that I like this second entry here in that moment because I'm postured for a really nice win. If both of those positions can go to 29.70, I'd be looking at somewhere around 4 to 5R, and that looks like a reasonable trade frame for me in the morning. But risk management, and I'm able to get out with a fractional win. Around the same time, EWZ was also moving. It was at the end of a multi-day sell, and then yesterday closed poorly. And so this morning we've got a slight gap up, and then a reversal 1, 2, 3 entry, and the VWAP is rolling up. So I like buying this at 23.64 with about a 10-cent execution stop and about a 25-cent position sizing stop with a low below the skin of the dragon. It moves out to yesterday's RL 270 and yesterday's VWAP. This is a Z3 move from here to here to 23.80. So that's a 20-cent. That's like 2R up into here. Gives me a little pullback. I was feeling hopeful, and I feel like I was slow getting out of this. It had already come back to the VWAP. I should have done maybe a nickel better. At this point, I'm considering a collapse through the VWAP, and I'm looking at return to the Bollinger Band mean to the 270. I've decided not to take that. I didn't have the will because I hadn't gotten back to the zero state because I was upset with myself that I didn't do better on this exit somewhere in this blue circle. I feel like I should have done better up here on the second PSAR dot. I should have been looking to get out. So I was not in the zero state for will, so I couldn't take that trade. But I was prepared to say that if we got a new low of the day down here around 23.43, I'd be willing to go short on the basis of this move into yesterday's close, which I would expect another leg of that magnitude. This is Heather on Google with 1 minute. I'd love this short. She's got the Bollinger Band rolling over. We've got a Z2 collapse here right through the Bollinger Band main, and she takes this short as it gets to the Bollinger Band main, expecting another leg down of the same size. Her buy to cover is here. Then that locks in a fractional win. You could argue whether or not this the Z-2 was worth taking, but in this position, Google is such a large moving object that I have no problem with that exit. It does preserve the fractional win, so we're not doing any harm to the account. And then she brilliantly gets the re-entry short here after a 1, 2, 3 reversal again, and now she's short and makes a beautiful cover down here after 1, 2, 3 with failure to fail further at Z-2. That's just an awesome cover, and well done here to re-enter. That's the key to sanity. She tries a long, but then gets stopped out here for scratch in Google later. But very nice sequence of trades. This is Heather again now on Amazon. And this is similar to the Google short in that she's playing the rejection at the edge of the river. This little 1, 2, 3 bounce, and then its price is rolling over. She gets short in here as it comes down to the 10. She does a buy to cover after a 1, 2, 3. Nice play. And then she has the presence of mind to do the reversal. We have an RLCO here. We have about 8 bars of sideways failure to fail further. She buys the entry into the river, is able to sell on a test to the far side of the river, 1, 2, 3 exit, and doubles essentially that leg. So she gets the leg down and the leg up. Very well done. This is Yolanda, who is playing a river breakout here. The RL30 had just come out, and she's got that Z3PO. So you can see the Z3s have pinched here, and she gets this entry here. She has her exit at the far side of the Z3. Well done. She plays a Bollinger Band mean profit or a capital preservation stop. That's about looks like about a minus 0.4 off this basic risk, and I like that exit after this steady selling pressure and the big red candle. I like that. And then she has the fortitude to buy a 1, 2, 3 re-entry when everything recovers at the edge of the river. So she's long here with a stop here, and she's able to cash this nice move up here. The dragon had come all the way out of the river. The RL10 had rolled over. She's got a 1, 2, 3 exit in here. That's just terrific, well played. And this nets out those two trades net out to a positive trade. She notes that there was a potential re-entry here somewhere in this area where the 10 has still crossed back over the dragon. I think right around in here is where that's indicated. You've got the dragon, the price, the 10, and the 30 all out of the river. It held support, failed to fail to the Bollinger Band mean. This is a potential re-entry. You could cash maybe a winning trade here, but as she points out, had other obligations and did not have the will in the time, will, pattern, and money. So good self-restraint here and good work throughout. This is Rod looking at Apple. He's playing a Z3 pinch breakout just in exactly the right way. Gets his short here as it passes through the Bollinger Band mean. That's even better of an entry than a Z3PO. This is a Z3PC where he's on the front running that breakdown. He gets almost a 3R move down here to 109.79. He was holding out for the next 10 cents or so and lost sight of the cash in hand. Ends up getting a fractional win here by covering here. But I want to just show that at this moment down here, you can see that the dragon has completely left the river. It's hard for it to sustain that. It's had 10 bars to collapse. It didn't collapse. Here was a Z3 move. And so we've got to be mindful of the location of the dragon with respect to the river. And I'm looking for a coaching cover here about 110 instead of 110.40, and we can preserve a little bit more of that gain. Still, perfect timing, perfect placement, good trade frame, good entry. Let's be mindful of these swing lows where the dragon, I want you to notice the southern skin of this dragon. Failure to fail here is reason to cash that 2.5R. Here's Rod with a terrific swing trade on Avago. He sees swing high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and now this rollover here. He buys this 1, 2, 3 short with a stop just above this shoulder. Plays the cover here. It's an outside day and closing higher than the previous days, and failure to fail further once more. And that's a terrific cover on the swing trade, and he's got a nice leg, a nice piece of that move. So well done. Oh, I think we've seen that's Yolanda's. This is Mark with his an RFA on a 5-minute charts with the ES, the S&P futures. He sees a swing high, a collapse, and he's playing this 1, 2, 3 rollover here, and he's short with the stop just above the swing high. It moves against him. He takes the 1R loss. He still has a short orientation because we've got an extended move here with a long wick and a 1, 2, 3 short again, and then covers down here with a terrific exit, and that 3R covers the 1R loss and nets 2R. Well played. And to summarize, to bring us home, Charles has, I think, regained his good form. Notice his cumulative R has now, after a slight dip, has now started to rebound in his favor. His last 30 trade sequence looking very solid, very tight risk management down here. The worst loss minus 0.5, and yet he's got a bunch that are up here around 1 and 1.2. And you see his 30, 60, and 90-day trade, or 90 trade rolling average R's are improving, and things are looking good. So well done. Stay with it. Good day in the market. Good week so far. So well played. So that's Ken Long from Tortoise Capital with a coaching video from today's chat room. And keep your wrists measured and your powder dry. Let's get them tomorrow.